In this video, we'll be going over a Black Orchid fragrance, and it's the new one from 2020. Finally, Tom Ford came out with a unisex fragrance in the Black Orchids, and in this video, we're gonna go over it. Stay tuned if you're interested. Hey everybody, it's Peter from Central. I'm glad that you're here. If you're new on this channel, I want to give you a warm welcome. If you're back, it's good to see you again. On this channel, we talk about fragrances. Designer, niche, so on and so forth. So if you love fragrances or you just want to smell great, or maybe you're looking for a gift like we just got through Christmas, I hope you had a good new year, then consider subscribing. Don't forget to hit the little bell button. It lets you know of any further videos that I post. Thank you in advance, and now let's get into the new 2020 Tom Ford Black Orchid. It's a Parfum concentration. See you in the video. Finally, Tom Ford came out with a Black Orchid fragrance that is marketed to unisex. I know many guys are shying away from the Black Orchid name and don't want to wear it. I have been wearing the Velvet Orchid and the Black Orchid ever since they came out. Really good fragrances to me as well. But this next one here is just a little bit deeper, and let's go over it. The original Black Orchid came out in 2006. It was a black bottle and it had a golden label on it. Now in 2014, the Velvet Orchid was launched, this one right here. And then in 2015, we had the Black Orchid. And it's the Eau de Toilette concentration. It's a great scent. And in 2020, Tom Ford came out with a Parfum concentration in a golden box just like this. This is not Eau de Parfum. This is Parfum, so it's just supposed to be a little bit more of the perfume oil in a Parfum concentration. I bought the 100 milliliter one, and the bottle looks like this. Looks like all the other ones, if you remember, but they're just, this one is solid gold. Has a gold label on the front, and looks just like that. Yeah, great bottle. Now this 2020 release is a really interesting one. They've downsized the notes to only 6 notes. And if you watched the video before this, I will link it in the top if you want to watch the video about the Velvet and the Black Orchid. Will be up here. But you know, they went up from down from 23 notes to 13 or 14 notes, and here they are, and then they went up again in the notes, and here we are down to 6 notes. But they've managed to tie in the orchid and the the Velvet Orchid and the Black Orchid in this fragrance. It's beautifully done. They've maintained the chocolate truffle from the Black Orchid and the ylang ylang, which is sort of the signature scent in these fragrances. But they also used the rum from the Velvet Orchid in this Parfum edition 2020. So it's a really unique way, or a really great way, I shouldn't say unique, but it's a really nice way of tying in both of those fragrances in this one. Let's give this one a spray as well and see how it looks. Once again, these kind of go puffed, and it's a really delicate, fine mist. And so we know that they've tied in the Velvet Orchid. You know, we got the truffle, we have the ylang ylang, we have the rum from the Black Orchid, the ylang ylang and the truffle from the Black Orchid, and the rum from the Velvet Orchid. But so you're like, okay, does it just smell like both of them combined? No, they also managed, the perfumer managed to give the 2020 Black Orchid its own identity. What they've done is they added a note of plum to it. So all the notes of the original ones with a little bit of plum, which gives this 2020 edition its own personality. So you're probably wondering, okay, how is this more unisex now? If it smells like a little bit of Velvet Orchid, if it smells a little bit like Black Orchid, and they're both geared towards females, how is this one how is that more unisex? Well, what they've done is they added the plum and patchouli, and they deepened the fragrance a little bit, which made it a little bit more unisex, and it just gave it a bit of a fuller body. The fragrance smells mostly to me like the original Black Orchid, the EDT version though. Also the projection, the sillage, and the longevity of this 2020 Black Orchid is really big. You got to be careful with this one a little bit. Too many sprays and this fragrance will wear you. You got to be confident in wearing any of the orchids for that matter. But this one especially. It has a big sillage, big projection, and it lasts for hours. So give yourself a sample or get yourself a sample and see if you like it. It's a great fragrance. You only need about 3 to 4 sprays and you're good to go. So don't blind buy it. You know, it's a strong fragrance unless you're already used to or you know the Orchid DNA. Then that's not a problem at all. It's a wonderful fragrance and you'll love it if you already like the DNA. Some people say that this fragrance is boozy because of the rum accord in here. To my nose, it is not. The rum in here, first of all, it doesn't smell like rum. It's so well blended in this fragrance. And to my nose, it is more of a sweet woodiness that I get from this rum. It's really well done. If you're wondering whether you should get, the 2020 edition, and it has really good sillage, really good projection, it lasts all day, or should you get, the EDT from 2014? Yeah. Now, this one is a little bit more linear. The Parfum is a little bit more linear. It only has 6 notes. There's not much of development. If you like a fragrance that has more development as you wear it, then I think you should go with the EDT. There are 13 notes in this one, and it starts off a little bit on the fresher side and it deepens as you wear it. While this one, the Parfum from 2020 starts off on the heavier side the moment you spray it. So it really depends on what you like. If you like a little bit more of a development in your fragrance, I would go with the EDT. They both smell very similar. And if you like it nice and heavy, maybe for the cooler days, I think this one is a great one. There's some development in it, obviously, but not as much as the EDT. If you already have the EDT and you're almost out, you could go ahead and get the Eau de Parfum. It captures the EDT perfectly with only 6 notes, but giving it its own little twist, making it a little bit heavier. It is not floral. It has truffle, it has plum, it has ylang-ylang, it has a patchouli goodness for a wonderful scent that is long-lasting, sexy, in the style of Tom Ford. Thank you for watching. This is Peter from Centrail. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so now. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that little bell button as it lets you know of my further videos. Until next time, I want you to take good care of yourself. Always smell nice, and I'll talk to you soon. Until then, Centrail